You heard the beep now?
Oh, mister, I didn't record last time.
Yo, why do you have to remind me of these things? What's going on, guys? Kivox and Meekachii here. We are doing a wrap-up.
Finally.
For January, February. It's March. What up, son? Anyway.
At least it's March 1st. We still have a Christmas tree up.
It's March 1st today.
Did you know that?
This is... That Christmas tree is up for this year, okay?
Seriously.
2019 Christmas tree ready to go. Anyway, we do this thing normally.
We made a new board.
We made new boards.
Meaning he made a new board.
Separate boards, one for each of us. And we have our ratings on there, as you can see. And the DNF down at the bottom. And then I'm thinking about putting my my do not reads suggestions by her on the back, possibly.
That's funny.
So we'll worry about that next month.
DNR.
DNR, yeah, do not read.
Do not resuscitate.
Do not read. So
Please resuscitate.
Okay, have you figured it out yet? Are we done with that yet? Can we move on?
So this is where we talk about the books we read in January and February. Dude, I'm doing so bad this year.
Me too.
Like, really
my goal
bad.
of like 40 books or whatever it was is not starting out good.
I have 60. I think my Goodreads says I'm 3 behind right now. But like, the one thing I have to say at least is we're reading big books. Like, most of the books we've been reading are long.
At least mine
The last book we read is 700 pages.
That's right.
So
we're cool like that. We're cool like that.
I feel like page-wise we're doing good. It's just like number of books, which I'm okay if that's the case. Which I started tracking my number of pages I read per month, so we're going to talk about that too.
Cool.
We actually kind of read a little bit different things. Does that make sense? No.
No, I don't. We read 2 of the same books. I read one book different than you, and everything else we read together.
So
I read 1 extra book.
In the month of January, I read a total of 1,895 pages, which I don't feel is bad.
I don't know how many pages I read because nobody loves me enough to keep track for me.
I guess that's a thing I have to do. I'm gonna put a section in my book. I got a new book.
I keep track of how many wands you made this month.
I got a new book called A Novel Companion, and I'm like obsessed with it. It's my new like bullet journal.
Let us know if you want her to do like a review on that and show you guys some more about it.
The first book I read in January was Armada. This was my wrapped book.
Oh yeah, we do that too.
So where he wrapped 12 of my books, and I have to read one each month.
That was February.
January. So what did I give this? A 3.5 out of 5. I did really enjoy it. You don't really remember much about it, but it's a very sci-fi based story on like first alien contact, sort of. But it's very like nerdy. So if you don't know, this is the same author that did Ready Player One.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's right on the back and actually right on the front as well. If you didn't know, they just wanted to say, hey, 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 hey.
And you can totally tell. I feel like Ready Player One, the nostalgic stuff that like the author brings up and all the nerdy stuff, it made more sense. Because it's very heavy in this book also, but it doesn't make as much sense.
It's definitely one of those nostalgia books. You know, if you grew up in that era, you're going to love it or hate it. That's the thing. It's one of those books. If you didn't like Ready Player One, if you didn't love Ready Player One, you're not going to like this. If you kind of liked Ready Player One, you may still not like this. Because
this is way different, though. So it's based on a guy. I don't want to say too much because I feel like knowing too much about this.
It's like video game stuff, and then the video game stuff is partially real. So it's like training for stuff which has been done before in other stories. Yeah, and yeah. So. But
anyway, I mean, it's very.
I would say that Ender's Game did it better as well.
Yeah, it's a good book. So I give it 3.5. I feel like it had its faults. It was a little too technological at times. Like, I didn't really care about the types of ships and, like, the intricacies of the video game. Like, it really didn't matter in the story. I think he wants me to vote.
Well, you're not supposed to tell them what you do. You're supposed to tell them and put it on here. That's the whole point of this thing I made.
So, I'm not going to be able to get this off.
Just get it off. Oh, my God. Do I need to peel it for you, Meek? Come on, you have nails. No pressure. No pressure. You got this, girl.
Alright, I guess it doesn't matter if I ruin it a little bit.
Just don't ruin it. A lot of it.
There we go.
All right, don't wait. Make sure you know where you're gonna put it before you do it, because these things are not coming off.
Are we doing them straight?
Whatever way you want, Meek. It's your board.
Alrighty, it's on there.
We got it. Wow, that's like right in the middle.
Yeah, it's a 3.5.
3.5.
So
oh, we didn't explain this. The star is like it's so good that it's not even a 5. It's like a 5.5. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is gonna be like our like books
favorites of
the year type thing. Like if it's just one of those books where we're like, man, I'm so glad I read this book. So that's what this is. It's like a 6.
Like sticks out.
It's like a 6 out of 5.
Yeah. So yeah, but this book, what really made it for me, like I was feeling kind of like it was a 3-star read throughout it, and then I really enjoyed the ending, so that kind of bumped it up a little bit. So I feel like it's above average if you like nostalgic, nerdy stuff.
We go over this every month. A 3 is not a bad book for me. It's a good book if you like the genre. Maybe it just wasn't for you. I'm sure that there will be people out there that love it.
I enjoyed it. It just wasn't like mind-blowing, but I really liked the ending. Then the second book that we read was one of our book club books. If you don't know, we run a book club every month, actually 2. They run at different times. We talk about them during our TBR videos. So that one's coming out soon, or it's out when you see this. But one of the books that we chose was Shadow of the Fox by Julie Kagawa. You read this too.
I read this too.
So I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
I'll tell you guys what I gave it when I go to stick it on my thing, like I said I was. Like I said you're supposed to do. But, so you'll find out in a second. Let's talk about it a little bit. It was very anime. If you like anime...
particularly Naruto and Dragon Ball.
It was very anime. I feel like it'll introduce a lot of people to the anime like tropes that this thing does a lot of. Pretty much like storytelling tropes, but a lot of the characters, especially the... this freaking cat, dude. Every video.
She loves her mama.
A lot of the things that happen in this are like very predictable if you watch anime. If you don't, then it'll be very surprising, I feel like, to you. There's also a lot of language things that are
very I mean there's
Japanese.
They use a lot of legitimate Japanese words.
Yeah.
There is a glossary in the back. If you don't know, Japanese, but I feel like if you watch Naruto and Dragon Ball and things like that, like most of it you'll know already.
And those are like some of the most popular anime out there, so if you'll
probably know some of the words. You may have to look up others. Even though it was predictable, I still really enjoyed it. I found myself really liking the characters. I liked what was going on. I liked the story. I didn't really want it to end. Like I just liked it. There's something about it that I really liked, and the way it was written. Like you said, there was nothing mind-blowing about it, so I think that's what... I didn't give it a 5, but I feel like, it was still really good.
I thought it was, like, alright. It's not going to be for everybody. It may be a little different than a lot of people are used to when it comes to, like, a fantasy universe type thing, because it's
very Japanese.
It's a lot more Japanese, so that may be interesting for a lot of people, but... for me,
talks a lot about like demons, and like in Japan that's like a common.
Yeah, so it's like feudal Japan, and like very spiritual, like Inuyasha-esque.
Yeah,
like it takes place
too.
In like the Inuyasha world.
And there's Kitsune, which is like the fox girls or fox people. So yeah, I mean Kitsune just means fox. But anyway, you get it. It's like very, very anime tropey.
But it's fun. It's a fun adventure. It's very adventure-y. They're on an adventure the whole time, gaining new allies throughout the story. It's fun.
I loved it.
Some people may like it more than others.
Me. But I definitely, I can't wait for the next one. It comes out this year. I don't know what's wrong with this cat. She wanted me, and now she's trying to leave.
Want to go first? We already know what you're going to do, so... might as well just skip to that part. Okay. Watch how easy this is. I had it. All right.
You only give it a 3.
Oh, it's sticking. I touched it to it and it's gone. Yeah, I gave it a 3.
He's not doing the like an even line.
I tried, but it didn't work. I gave it a 3. It was good. I like 3s. 3s are not bad books.
To me, 3s are like, eh.
I am interested in the next one. Maybe we'll do it in a future book thing. It'll be interesting. I want to know what happens, but if I don't know, if I don't find out, I'm not gonna like be like, oh my god, I gotta know. Oh my god.
Then the next book that I finished, I'm not really going in order. I'm going in order a month.
Nobody cares.
So, Kingdom of Copper, which is the second book in the Davabad trilogy, I think it's gonna be. Yeah, this one came out last month. It is out now. It took me forever to finish it. This book is 600 pages, so I mean, it's a lot of book. And I really enjoyed it. I love this series. I think she's an excellent writer.
It has magic in it and djinns. Djinns as in jinnies.
Yeah, the djinn. It's got like a very complex world. It has great character building. It has great story building. Just like a great plot. I mean, to me, I'm really enjoying this series. I think that this book, the main character annoyed me a little bit. But I mean, I don't know if that was intentional because, like, I don't think she was supposed to be annoying, but she was annoying to me. That being said, though, I feel like it ended great, just like her last one ended really well, and I want to continue, and you guys should pick this up. I want Mr. Kivox to read it and see what you think. You sink.
Mr. Kivox?
Is your father.
Is my father.
But I really want to see what you think about it. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Maybe in the future I will read it.
She just paints such a magical world. It's like so like entrancing when you read it, and it's very like.
Wait, you gave Shadow the Fox a 4.5?
Yeah.
Oh. You ready?
I gave this one the same thing.
Oh, you're so neat. I feel bad now that I stuck mine on.
It's
bad.
A little crooked. Watch me accidentally put one on your board.
That's gonna suck. Oh wow, yours are mad crooked.
Yeah.
What'd you do there?
Maybe your numbers are crooked because I'm basing them off your numbers.
That's true. You shouldn't do that. Don't base them off my numbers. Where is it? Ha! I read this recommended by this little lady, and I liked it. It was a nice, simple, fun story. There wasn't like this crazy like it's the end of the world as we know it. Bam, bam, bam. Thing going on, you know? It was just like simple, cool characters, fun characters, funnily written. It's a thing. That's a word. That's how you say it.
And the voice actress is so good.
Sadly, she has passed. Wow, you don't say it like that. Pass is the proper nice way to say it. She passed. Gas.
Anyway, so I read this in December and I really, really loved it.
I read it in January. I don't know why that keeps happening. I read it in February.
No, January.
January. It keeps happening. I'm breaking in my mind. That's right. I said mind and brain at the same time.
It's like historical fiction with elements of magic, and
it starts off great. They apologize for ruining the historic accuracy of the story. It's so cleverly written. I definitely recommend it. This is up in my it's in a high rating. I gave it a good rating. You guys are gonna find out in a few seconds.
What did you rate it?
Thank you for peeling back my little thing for me while I talked.
Well, like you did for me. I mean, my bad.
Now I'm just you guys are just gonna have to watch me for 10 minutes while I do this.
There has to be an easier way to do this.
Yeah, you do it for me. That's the easier way. Meek, grab my sign. All right.
Where's it gonna go? Very funny.
I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Wow.
I liked it. It was fun.
We gotta read my my Plain Jane.
That's right here, but we didn't read this yet.
No, I want to though.
I gave it a 4.5. I really liked it. It was fun.
You knew what it was going into it, and it didn't disappoint.
It was.
It wasn't a 5, I think, because nothing like Again, nothing
It
crazy
wasn't-
and like mind blowing happened, but it was a great.
It wasn't
experience.
groundbreaking.
Yeah,
That's the thing. It was but it was exactly what it was supposed to be. It's a great fun book if you just want like a fun, like non-stressful
it's a historical fiction.
You can't say that because I feel like that makes it. If you don't like history, you're gonna think that it's not good. But it's nothing to do. It's just like imagine
they rip apart history.
Imagine if they just took like the term historical fiction. Is that what it was? And they just like made a story with like a famous character. That's it. That's all it is. But it has magic and fun and fun. It's fun. Moving on.
Then our next book club pick was Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. One of my goals was to read more Brandon Sanderson, and I am already achieving my goal. For the year.
Brandon Sanderson, on point.
This book was so good.
I think one of my favorite authors. Even though I've read like 4 of his books, maybe 5, maybe. One of the best. I mean, I'm sure everybody already knows this, that he's one of the best.
I was so hesitant to go into this book because A, it's a YA, which I've never read YA by Brandon Sanderson. B, it was really hyped. And sometimes, you know, like books get overhyped and then you get really excited and you're like, oh, this is going to be so great. And then you read it and it's like...
Yeah, like some of the books that we've read that haven't been that great.
Like what?
Shadow the Fox.
I loved that book.
Bells.
That book sucked. I mean, sorry. If you like that book, you do you.
Ooh.
But I couldn't stand that book. Anyway, the world was great. It was sci-fi, but...
I'm a big fan.
I feel like even if you don't like sci-fi, you'll really like it. The character development was really good.
Fake science was great. I love how they tried to explain the different stuff. It was great.
Some plot twists.
Yeah, every story has some sort of plot twist in it.
Not really. It's like I didn't want it to end. There were some really great characters and even like some minor characters that were really great, like Doomslug and Murderbot. It
was great.
And like there's just some really great characters and it was just great. I can't fault it for anything. I had some oh my god moments.
I would say even if you don't like sci-fi,
you'll like it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. And I definitely think it's one of those books, like, even though it is hyped, I don't really feel that it is overhyped because I think it deserves its hype. The end.
Yeah. We can't really talk about the plot, because it's going to give stuff away. But it takes place in some sort of future where the Earthlings, I guess... I don't even know. Are they Earthlings?
They're from Earth. They are. Or well, they're
they're descendants. So
Earth.
So the Earthlings
but they're not living on Earth anymore.
On a planet, and they have to defend themselves against aliens that, are trying. They're basically just trying to survive, and they've been there for a while, and they're kind of just in hiding. And it's all about that story. And it's a very militarized culture. Where
but not like boring.
Kids want to go to school to become, like a pilot to defend the Earth type thing.
Yep.
That's the gist of it, and that's why it's called Skyward.
It's really good. I literally can't think of anything I didn't like about it.
Okay, you go first, my lady.
This was my first 5-star read of the year.
Oh, snap.
How do you do 5s without...
That's the problem.
There it's going there.
That works. You can still see the title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Meek, look, I did it for you.
Oh, you did it for me. Thanks. Now, what did I originally give this?
I think a 5.
I'm worried.
I don't think it's a super 5, but it's
Should I put it over here?
I don't know. You could.
I'll do that for now until I fill it up. I thought it was a 5 as well. My boy Brandon, man. That's why I call him my boy.
So right now we're reading Elantris if you want to join the book club.
Yes, book club, Elantris.
March 17th. You don't have much time. It's kind of a big book. But you can watch the live stream afterward and comment. We'll still see it.
And now, moving over to February. We didn't read a lot this month because it was short. We went to Florida. There was a couple things that happened. I read one book.
I read 2. And one was really short.
One was really long, though. The one that I read was really long. It was like almost 800 pages. So give me a break, guys. Give me a break.
This is kind of why I've been wanting to track the number of pages because last month or January I read 1895. February I read 939. So it was literally half of what I read.
Also, February was short. 28
by
days.
A few days.
28 days.
We did go on vacation and we didn't read at all on vacation. So
you can't read on... I don't even consider it vacation. It was parent keeping.
My mom watched our last video.
Oh, yeah? So?
The candle one. Don't say anything.
Did she like it?
Bad. She did.
Did she think it was funny?
Yeah. So yeah, we saw our parents. It was fun. But we didn't read anything. Because, you know, you're out having fun and you're being with family that you haven't seen
You
forever.
call that fun?
Oh, shut up.
Going to Universal?
You had such a good time talking to my uncle and my parents.
Going to Universal and going bowling? You call that fun?
You, like, talked to my parents for, like, 2 hours after I fell asleep the night we landed.
Yeah, and then I slept on the floor.
Yeah, he did. My parents were like, he's such a good husband.
Yeah, I am. I'm pretty great.
Anyway, so we only read a little bit in February. And the first book that I finished was The Haunting of Hill House, which was my Kivox pick for February, although, like, I unwrapped them, as you'll see in the TBR videos, and I couldn't stand this book. It was
You
so
made it through, though.
bad.
You were miserable
made
the whole
it through.
time.
I mean, it's so short. How could you not finish it?
It took you all month to finish it.
I couldn't DNF it. That's another point in my...
Handy dandy.
My handy dandy thing. I wrote when I started books and when I finished them.
Oh.
So.
Honestly, if you guys want us to do a review on this thing, it's pretty cool, and I would like to do a review.
We bought it, by the way.
Yeah,
it wasn't free. So, where did it go? Okay, so I actually didn't start it until February 18th, and I ended it on the 24th. So it really wasn't that long.
It felt like it was years. You were reading it for years.
I put it off, though. So, we really liked the show.
So hold on, let me finish this. Bent neck lady. Right.
So we really liked the show, and this cover is awesome.
That's the cover from the Netflix series.
Yes. This is nothing like the show. Legit, they just took the names of the characters, and that's it. In the house. That's it.
So we found out that The Haunting...
The Haunting, that old movie from like the 90s, maybe early 2000s.
Was a more accurate remake of this book.
Yes. It still wasn't 100% accurate, but it was... I kept thinking about that movie.
And then we looked it up, and it was like, this is a retelling of the book, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Haunting on Hill House. By the way, the show is great. It is an amazing show.
I still recommend the show. This book, not so much.
Super creepy and amazing, and there's so much like hidden stuff in the background that's just the creepiest type of scary, in my opinion. So in this book,
nothing happens until about page 105.
And there's only 106 pages.
No, there's 200 and something, 230. Nothing happens until then. It's literally just talking about this boring main character that lives a boring life. They go to this house to research the hauntings. There's no haunting stuff happening. Does that make sense? No. But nothing happens until like 100 pages in. And then the stuff that happens is not even that scary. And I was just like... And don't get me started with the characters. They were like kindergartners. Like, you know, like when you're in kindergarten.
It was old though too, right? It was written a long time ago.
It's very dated. So like, I feel like.
So speech is kind of weird.
Maybe there's no redemption for this.
Okay.
Like, literally one character would be talking about one thing and another character would be talking about something completely different.
Yeah, you read that thing to me about like this making squash or something.
I was like, what is going on? Yeah. It's literally like listening to 4-year-olds talk.
Doesn't really make sense.
Hi, my mom gave me peanut butter and jelly for lunch. I have a dog. Oh, this peanut butter and jelly is so great. It's grape. My dog licks me a lot. Like, that was the conversation type thing. 2 completely different things, but they were each carrying on their own conversation. It was so bad. And then there was just so much nonsense going on.
So this is definitely like a do not read for me.
Yeah, definitely. So there was a lot of nonsense going on where it was like paragraphs and paragraphs of inner monologue of just convoluted nonsense. It's just like nothing making sense for no reason. The main character was so annoying. I don't recommend that book. So, I didn't give it a 1 because I really liked the last 2 pages.
You gave it a no?
I gave it a 2.
A whole 2? An entire 2?
Yeah, I liked.
Wow.
I should have given it less.
Based on what you were just saying, I am very surprised that we gave it a 2.
I liked the ending. I do like the way it ended. I could tell you about it later.
Tell me about it later.
So you should watch the show because it's really good.
And moving on to the last book.
Our last book that we read in February, the one that was massive and on the shoulders of Titans by Andrew Rowe, which we're probably going to read the next one soon, like May-ish maybe.
Oh, the
Karis.
The prequel type thing, like side.
Is it a prequel?
It's like a side story. Yeah,
Okay.
It's going to be like a prequel side story thing.
So if you don't know, this is a sequel to...
I think it is. At
It
least
is.
it is, because at the end of this one they tease like that story, like him telling that story.
No, I'm saying this is a sequel to
Yes.
what's the name of the book?
Sam.
Sufficiently Advanced Magic. They're both rather big books, but they're very good. They have some good characters. This one I liked slightly less. I think I'm gonna rate them the same because they're both really good. They're not quite 5s in my opinion. They get a little preachy at times with like the magic system, which I know Kivox likes, but me, like, it was a little too much. It felt like I was reading a textbook at certain times.
I loved it.
I know. Some people like it, some people don't. I'm just warning you, it gets like that sometimes. It's not all like that.
It wasn't preachy. It's perfect.
The characters are great. The magic system is good.
Magic system is perfect.
The story is good.
Story's pretty good. Not perfect, but it's pretty good.
Do you have anything else?
I like the world. That's my favorite thing. It's definitely like almost like a high fantasy where it's like a lot of world building, but a lot of world building on the backs of the characters. So you learn a lot through the characters' eyes, and a lot. I mean, I guess you do that in a lot of stories, but
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the learning about the world is through the main character's eyes.
Which
even
I
though-
disagree. That's what I had a problem with. Was I feel like, yes, you're learning it through his eyes, literally, because you're like reading stuff as he's reading it.
Yeah, it's all in his head. You
Yeah.
hear all. It's first person, pretty much, in his
Yeah.
in his point of view. So you're learning, like, as he's figuring certain things out and blowing himself up occasionally, you're learning, like, oh crap,
I do
he
feel
shouldn't
like
have done that.
I like the fact that he's not an overpowered character. There are really strong and powerful characters in the book, but it's not the main character. And he's actually like intrigued by those characters because they're so powerful and wants to know more about
He's
them.
also the type of character that asks like 1,000 questions, is super curious about, like, how do you do that? How is it possible? And in like his whole thing is that he may not be the most powerful, but like figuring things out he's really good at. So he's like one of those smart characters that can get himself out of trouble because of his intelligence. And I like characters like that.
The only one of the faults that I found with this book is I like that there is a lot of diversity, but I feel like the representation was better in book 1 than this book.
Agreed.
I feel like it was too forced.
A little ham-fisted.
It's like it just was.
Is that a term, ham-fisted?
I don't know.
It is now.
It was like I felt it was unnatural. That's how I want to put it. Because in the first book, the diversity was very natural. I felt like there was a lot of diversity and it just flowed well. And in this one, I felt like it was like...
I have a question before
What?
you go on. How do you always end up so far away?
Because I hate you.
The camera's set up for each of us to have a side. There's even a divide right here. Look.
Mm-hmm.
There's a divide right there. But somehow you end up over here every time.
Yeah.
I don't push you over. I'm just asking. Anyway, I agree. The diversity in the first one was a lot more natural. This one, we went more in depth in the live stream about it. We had a whole long conversation, so go check that out if you want to.
Spoilers though, like
yeah.
totally. So you have to read this
read
first, or you don't have to, but you should.
You should.
But that's all I really have to say. It's really enjoyable. I really like this series. He's definitely a good writer. I know he has another series that we haven't read.
We may read that too.
Yeah.
Because I think he's gonna write that before he goes back to writing the third
he's one
book.
of those authors that goes back and forth, but a lot of authors do that, and I feel that's smart because you don't get bogged down by
and you
one
don't get
piece
burnt
of work.
out.
Yeah.
You know, you have time to think about it and be creative. You know, being creative is not the easiest thing.
Give me my board.
You're gonna give it a 4?
I gave it a 4.
Wow. So you're telling me that Shadow of the Fox was better than On the Shoulders of Titans? Are you serious right now?
I had more fun. Yeah, a little bit.
Are you kidding me?
No. I think I just made Kivox hate me. Are we divorcing?
We were never married. I'm gonna actually give it a 4.5.
The last one was like a star for him.
Yeah. I liked the first one better. It wasn't as good as the first one. 4.5, I think, is a good spot for it.
Still very good, yeah. Yeah, good.
I definitely liked certain things about it more than I did about than Skyward. I did like certain things, but Skyward was an overall better story from beginning to end. Just the way that the story floated. Shoulders of Titans was good, except I feel like the ending wasn't like a big enough. I didn't know it was ending because I was listening to the audiobook. I got to the end and it was like the name of the chapter was like some sort of like conclusion or something like that.
Epilogue.
Yeah, and then I was like, wait a minute, what? And then like later on, I like looked at the time and it was like 2.5 minutes left, and I was like, how is this possible? How is this gonna end? I don't understand. So there was like no big thing at the end. I felt like it was build up, end. It never like build up, crescendo, end, right? There was none of that. That's the thing that I didn't like about it the most, is that I felt like there was a lot of small encounters throughout the whole thing, small battles,
small excitements,
small excitements, but it never got to the peak like the first one did. It never like, it didn't build up an epicness towards the end. It was kind of like if this is epic, it was like here the whole time, and then it ended, right? And I like endings. I like how they end, but I felt like there should have been more. Also, the last line in the first book, that kicked it up a notch for me.
I don't remember. You have to remind me later.
I'll remind you later. You know what I'm talking about.
Thank you guys for watching. If you liked any of these books, let us know down below. If you read any, or if you want to read some now that you haven't picked up yet, comment down below. Let us know what books. If there's any books you think we should read in the future, let us know.
This is where we're at. We're going to do this every month. I hope, if we remember.
We have to. We were bad. First month of the year, we failed.
It was February. Messed us all up. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it was. Well,
February
we went
is the
on
worst.
vacation in the beginning of February, so that didn't help.
That's true.
Anyway.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what your how your reading's going this month. You know, let us know what you guys want to. Let us know any things you want us to read in the future.
We do have a bookish candle unboxing where we have a coupon code, so check that out if you like candles and bookish candles and yummy smelling candles.
Thank you guys. See you guys in the next video. Like it if you liked it. Hit a notification. Do all this YouTube stuff. Leave a comment down below. You know.
Bye bye bye.
Bye bye bye.